Okay.
Okay. Better than okay. Oh, it has been a long time, but it's finally happening. This is the announcement video for Almando Calvo, Christ Righteous Ministries' new book, the sequel or spiritual successor, or I don't know, to God Is and a Conscious Universe, which for those who are kind of new around here, were a couple of the biggest events in the history of my channel when I reviewed them rather extensively. Not least because Calvo's an incredibly popular character on this channel. Now, he and I really didn't see eye to eye during that period, but over the past year or so, we've talked to each other, talked through a lot of that stuff, and come to a kind of mutual respect. And that's going to continue through this video and through my review of the book, which is most likely going to happen when it comes out. I've talked to him about this. We're very much on the same page about this. Another thing we're on the same page about is I'm not going to pull punches. I'm going to say what I think. That's absolutely necessary in anything that I do. And frankly, I think it would be disrespectful to everyone to do anything else. To myself, to him, to you. If I have something to say, I'm not going to pretend that I don't. And I told him that, and I said, look, I feel like we've come to a truce, and so I'm not going to make videos about this unless that's the kind of attention you want on your book. And I was very clear, because this is the approach that I wanted to take, that it was fully up to him, and if that's not the kind of attention that he wanted on his book, I wouldn't bring it. If he told me he preferred that I not go that route, I wouldn't, and that'd be the end of it and nobody would ever hear about it. But no, he was quite enthusiastic that I should go ahead with it. So here we are, the announcement video for God Still Is. In other words, God Is Too.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh, you know, this and that, same old.
Long time no see.
Yeah, must have been, because it's been long enough for you to turn into a damn tank. Look at you, dude. It's awesome, good job.
It's been such a crazy year. It's been a crazy couple of years.
What is that beeping? It's driving me crazy already. Is someone backing up some heavy machinery outside or something?
Military has been crazy, just in overall general, but...
Did your neighbor overcook some bacon? What is going on?
So I decided to come live real quick.
Alright, that was your phone vibrating. This video is a cornucopia of oral sensation.
All I'm doing, really, on this live is just, instead of making a video and editing the video and making some type of like commercial for this new release, or rather this new reveal, I decided I'm gonna go live, make the video like this, and then just post it, and then you guys will eventually see it. But welcome, it's been a long time. So first and foremost, peace and blessings from the Lord God Almighty.
Sure, thanks, but... So that's definitely a smoke detector, right? I understand it's a live stream, so if it just started when you started the stream, I guess you can't really do much about it. Although it's been going since the very start, so you might have started this stream with that thing already going in the background. In which case, I really wish you would have dealt with that first before you started.
So yes, man, we did it. We officially did it. It has been an incredibly, remarkably long time.
It has. I was starting to get worried. If I had to go without God Is Too for much longer, I don't know if I could have continued on.
And it's been a crazy juggle. It's been a damn circus, because I've had to juggle my family life, military life, with also my Christian life, and, you know, my life of being an author, you know, writing a book and stuff. So
I don't doubt it one bit. I fully believe that you have an extremely busy life. But that's all right. We made it, buddy.
we officially did it.
We did. You and me. 50-50 credit. Actually, I haven't read the book yet. I think I'm going to avoid saying that even as a joke.
I finished my third book. It has been complete. Now, I am going to say there are some things that I have to kind of modify and fix up a little bit. So when I show you guys the cover, just know that some things are going to be slightly tweaked, slightly modified.
Okay, so this is like the Lulu preview copy, and now that you have it, you know what you want to switch around. I get you.
Everything else on the book is going to be completely the same. As far as the cover, the title is going to be the same. The secondary title, totally forgot what they call it.
Secondary title seems fine as a term. I'd probably say subtitle personally, but I don't think there's a problem saying secondary title. I think if anything, the problem with secondary title would be that it could refer to other things too and make it kind of confusing. Like for example, if your book is actually known by two titles, you know, it has one title in Europe and one title in America, or it's been retitled for some reason. If you say secondary title, maybe people get confused with something like that, but nah, it's not a big deal. Just go with secondary title. That might even be what Lulu actually calls it. If that's that's what's in your head is what they call it, that's very possibly just what they call it.
But that's going to be tweaked, modified.
That beeping's still going, by the way. If that's in your house, you should really do something about that, but I don't know if it is. It sounds kind of distant or muffled. Could easily be from a neighbor's place, in which case you should go give that person a smack. Assuming they're not just away from home and their house is burning down. No matter what the case is, I feel like this is worthy of a bit more concern than what we're seeing here.
But I just got my copy today. So this is the unofficial copy, all right? This is just the copy that I'm going to use to modify, tweak, and edit for my official book so that when I release it, it can be perfect for you guys, okay?
More than okay. Amazing. Perfect. Love it. I want the best God Is 2 that God Is 2 can be. And you know what? I'm not just saying that either. I really, really want this book to be good. I mean, obviously I'm going to disagree with everything in it because it's a Christian book, but that's not the point. None of this is about religious issues at all at this point. Most people remember what we went through the last time and the time before. I don't need to rehash all that. It's all there on record. I really, really want those issues to just not be issues this time. And I gotta say, I'm kind of optimistic that they won't be. I hope I'm right in thinking that this is going to be the best one yet by far.
So, without further ado, first and foremost, I'm going to thank you guys for all your love and support.
This seems like further ado, but please continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you guys for supporting me, even when a lot of people tend to attack me, which is, you know, expected.
Expected, yes. Not unwarranted in the past. Probably this time it's also to be expected to some degree, and hopefully it's not nearly as warranted.
Especially being a Christian, a follower of the Lord Jesus Christ.
That really didn't have that much to do with it.
Jesus says, if the world hates me, remember, if the world hates you, remember it hated me first. Okay?
Why, was he plagiarizing off of Christian websites too? Okay, look, I'm not going to harp on that issue, right? This is the past. But come on, dude. That's not what that was about. There's a playlist people can watch if they want the history. It's still called Elf with a PH Dockings. And I don't think I'm going to change it because the playlist alone has generated 275,000 views.
Listen, I rock with Jesus. I ride with Jesus no matter what. All right?
All right. Nobody cares. You're not going to deconvert. Nobody thinks you are. Nobody was ever trying to get you to. This was never an issue about people not liking Christians. Not even in the very first video, where I was responding to you ripping on atheists.
So no matter what criticism, no matter what type of attacks come my way, we are still going to push forward with the gospel. We're still going to give glory to the Lord God Almighty, and that's what we are here to do. All right? So
yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. Do that, do it well, and frankly, I don't even care if the spelling is terrible, and the grammar's terrible, and the arguments are terrible. I'll probably mention it, but that's not a big deal. I don't even care if you have actual proper citations in your book. Just when you copy something into it, mention that it came from somewhere else and where that was. That's it. And frankly, the second part, mentioning where it was from, even that I barely care about at this point. At this point, I'm willing to give so many passes that all I really care about is just not making it seem like you wrote things you didn't write. If we can pass that bar, I will proclaim this book a great success.
Just to kind of give you guys a little bit of backtrack, I know I'm kind of building up the anticipation.
Yeah, the ado isn't just a little further. This ado is much further.
But here was my first book, God Is.
Ah. I did not realize the video's mirrored. Let me just change that, because that's going to drive me even more insane than I'm already going from the beeping.
An incredibly successful book.
Okay.
Highly talked about.
Okay, that's true. If that's the standard of success, then absolutely.
And very, what is that word?
Bad?
Man, I forgot that word.
Plagiarized?
Controversial.
Oh. Well, yeah, that too.
Very controversial. Man, this has brought a lot of attention to my channel, to my ministry, to my authorship.
Yep. Contrary to popular belief, not all publicity is good publicity.
So, this one pretty much stirred up the pot, all right? This one stirred up the pot.
Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog.
This one seasoned the pot, all right? It seasoned what I was cooking in the pot.
Adder's fork and blindworm's sting, lizard's leg and howlet's wing, for a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble.
Again, controversial, these two books, and honestly, I didn't mean for it to be this large. That's one thing that I kind of screwed up on.
You know what? I don't know if I ever criticized that or not. I hope I didn't, because actually, in hindsight, I kind of like the oddly large format. It's sort of iconic. Also makes it good for video, and also for scanning to PDF. Maybe this time that won't have to happen. Maybe since we're on a lot better terms now, you'll just give me a PDF. That'd be so much easier. For JR. He wouldn't have to do it for me again.
But because I've learned a little bit more.
Oh my god, turn your phone's vibrate off while you film. The beeping's bad enough.
Since I've been writing books, I've learned a lot, actually. Not just a little bit. I've learned a lot, and I got some help now. I'm actually being helped from different parties, different people with my new book. I've gotten a lot of help with this new book so I can make sure that it's good.
That is very good to hear and a very wise choice. I mean, the fact is, any book of any quality that ever comes out will have had more than one set of eyes on it, and probably more than one set of hands on it. That's just how it works, and that's for very good reasons, so I'm glad to hear that you're doing that. And that increases my optimism for this book. I really do feel good about where this is going.
But yeah, so that was my second book. That was kind of the seasoning to the pot.
Liver of blaspheming Jew, gall of goat and slips of yew, silvered in the moon's eclipse, nose of Turk and Tartar's lips.
And here's going to be the official, not the official like it's going to be my last, but here is the finishing touch to the pot.
Double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good.
And this is going to be the meal that I look forward to every atheist, every skeptic, every person out there to test out, to try it, to take a taste, a little spoon taste.
Oh, well done, I commend your pains, and everyone shall share in the gains. And now about the cauldron sing, live elves and fairies in a ring, enchanting all that you put in.
Here it is. Drum rolls, please. We don't have a soundboard, but hey.
It's alright, bro, I got you.
God still is.
Sorry, a bit late.
You guys thought just God was just is? You guys thought God just is? No, God still is.
Dang, not only is he is, but he still is. He's had no ideas. He has had so much stamina.
He still is. No matter how many atheists have tried to disprove God or refute God, God still is, buddy.
Counterpoint, though. Nuh-uh.
So this is my new book. God still is now.
Oh, now he still is. Oh, I thought then was he still is.
As I mentioned before, so as you guys can see, it's a regular sized book now.
It is. It will not fit well in my stack of your books, but it will fit better on my bookshelf. Pros and cons.
Okay, I put a lot of work into this. It's a regular sized book. It's about 300 pages. About 300 pages. So it's a pretty good sized book, all right? It's nearly 300 pages. Almost 300 pages.
So it's a book of standard size and additionally of standard length. That's great. I guess now all I'm curious about is whether it's double spaced.
But it's a really good sized book. You got the back right here.
Ooh, is that going to be possible to read? Worth a shot. Let's see. No, I can't read that, unfortunately. It's just going to have to be a mystery until the big day.
Then obviously you got some empty space here because this is just a prototype. Okay, this is not the official copy.
That doesn't seem like a big deal. I would just leave that personally, but I guess a little picture or something wouldn't hurt, yeah?
I still gotta get my barcode down here.
Oh, like for the ISBN? Okay, well, I guess if you intend for this to be sold in stores or stocked in libraries and that kind of stuff, yeah, maybe that's useful. I don't know if that'll actually end up happening, but I guess you might as well plan for it. You never know.
I added something as well. I kind of tweaked and modified the back a little bit on the official copy, on the official books that will be released. There is going to be something else added to God Still Is, this book. It's going to be the first edition book, all right? So I'm going to release it as a first edition for the first round of sales.
All right, so what I'm understanding there is that you're planning on adding more to the book. So if I buy the book right away, that might lack something cool. That's all right. I'll buy both editions. I got no problem with that at all.
And also I have the secondary title right here, which I also modified and tweaked. So
I can't read that either mostly, but I think the first couple of lines say, "The world is a dark place." I could be wrong, but if so, my curiosity is piqued.
The book will consist of 10 chapters, all right?
Sounds all right to me. Nice round number. That means 30 pages a chapter. That's quite a bit. Good, I love chunky chapters.
10 amazing chapters.
Oh, I'm sure. No matter how this goes, one way or another, they are amazing. I know that already.
And the purpose of the book, okay, compared to the other two.
By the way, you might think the beeping stopped, but it didn't. It's a bit quieter, but I can hear it. Maybe somebody closed a window. Either that or it's just stuck in my head and I think I hear it. I don't think so, though. I think that it's still going, but maybe the phone's doing some noise removal or something, and so it gets cut out of the quieter parts. I hear it more during the talking parts. Anyway, we got a little preview there with the page flipping. Looks to me like margins are fairly generous. Not all that many lines per page, but not an unusually low number. Relatively large font size, but not enormous. And largely not double-spaced, although I think there's some inconsistency there. Overall, I guess it looks like there's a decent amount of text in there.
The other two books were more just, I want to give you guys evidence for God's existence. I want to elaborate on some of the other arguments that some of the most popular Christian apologists have argued.
Well, if nothing else, you certainly presented their arguments.
There was a lot, when I first got into apologetics, I was listening to like Frank Turek, William Lane Craig, Norman Geisler, and I was like, when I was listening to them and I was listening to their arguments, there was a lot of ideas that came to mind. There's a lot of things that clicked, and I'm like, man, Frank Turek should have added this. Frank Turek should have said this. Norman Geisler could have added this. He could have made it a lot better if he structured it like this, which is why I decided to write my first book, God Is. Okay?
You know, as much as we could find it funny that God Is would improve Turek and Geisler's work in terms of content or structure, that's not a bad impulse. You're a different person with different ideas. It makes sense that you would want to put those forth. If that was the intent, that's not a problem. The problem was in the execution.
That was the intent behind God Is. It was supposed to be an elaboration book. Obviously, a lot of people didn't think that was a thing. There's no such thing as an elaboration book.
Well, I mean, that's definitely a term that you made up. And that was not a term that you were using at the launch of your book. That term only started to come up after you were called out for massive plagiarism. So when you say that that was the intent, okay, maybe, I can't read your mind, but to an outsider, that always sounded a lot like retconning. You know, I feel like we gotta stop dwelling on that book and talk more about this book. Trying to talk about God Is and a conscious universe and justify those debacles, opening up that whole discussion again, that is not the way to go here.
But this was my intent. It was from my heart. My intent was to take arguments that I thought were really good and add to it, expound upon it.
Okay, I believe you to that extent. I did see some of that in both books, I'll give you that.
A Conscious Universe was kind of the same thing, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of fresh material.
Well, there was a little bit of fresh material in A Conscious Universe. That much also is true. But please let's move on.
With God Still Is, this is all me, baby.
I am very glad to hear it. If that's true, that already makes this one 100 times better than the other ones. I don't even care what's in it. It's a better book, if that's true.
This is all me. Obviously, I have some supporting details in here, some supporting articles, some supporting arguments. I do, you know, like every other book does. You can't get away from it. I did my research, all right? Frank Turek does it. Norman Geisler does it. William Lane Craig does it. Ray Comfort does it. Every author around the world does it.
Yes, that's an entirely normal thing to have in a book, referring to something else in your book. But when those guys do it, they're either talking in their own words, or it's very clear that they're referring to something else, especially if they're directly quoting from that something. If that's what you mean that you're doing, then that's completely fine. Nobody on the face of the earth has a problem with that. Just please, please, please mean that that's what you're doing. After the last time, maybe it is. If you have people helping you, even more likely. And I just hope that's true because I don't want to have the same conversation again. If I never have to say the word plagiarism again, I will be very happy. Seriously, if that one issue is fixed, I will not have a problem with this book beyond mere disagreement, which is completely fine.
I mean, even military books that I've read, they have supporting articles, they have supporting details, supporting arguments. I mean...
Yeah, they cite other things. They don't just copy-paste and pretend nothing happened. Or at least I would hope not.
Every author does it, okay? So, yes, there will be some supporting articles in here, some supporting things, all right? Don't take it don't blow things out of proportion, all right? Just because it's me, just because it's Christ Righteous Ministries, and just because we have some controversy on my channel from way back when, Doesn't mean that just because I'm using supportive articles and supporting arguments means that I'm this, and that. I'm X, Y, and Z, okay?
Right, absolutely. Who you are doesn't matter. What you've said or written or copied or done or anything in the past has no relevance to this. If this book doesn't contain a bunch of stuff you copy-pasted from all over the place, while giving no indication that you didn't write it, then it just doesn't, and nobody's going to say it does. If you have, like, unusually formatted references or something, I don't think anybody's gonna care. I'm certainly not. There's only one issue here that matters, and it's gonna be a matter of objective, visible reality. That won't change based on who you are or what your religion is. Just when you put something in your book that you didn't write yourself, make it obvious that it's a quotation and say where it's from. There's nothing more to it than that.
Relax. Stop blowing things out of proportion.
I'm very relaxed, and I am not going to blow things out of proportion. If there are other issues with your book beyond the one I just said, I'll mention them, but they're not going to be a big issue, and they're not going to generate a lot of negative attention because they don't matter that much.
This book right here, I took a lot of time and effort. This was the longest book. What is it? This book took me the longest to put together compared to the other two. The other two I was able to put together within a couple months. This literally took me probably about a year and a half to put together.
That's awesome. If this is a high-effort project, that's great. By the way, I think the beeping finally stopped at some point. I don't know when. Somewhere along the way I started tuning it out. Maybe it is still going and I just can't hear it anymore. I don't think so, though.
I got people together to help me write this book. I got people together to help me review the book. I got people together to help me, I guess, put together a book with better words, better wording. I took on study material. I actually started going to school for book writing and stuff like that, you know, to kind of learn how to put together a book and stuff. So, yes, I did a lot to make sure that this book is not that anything in this world's perfect, but for lack of a better words, to try to make sure that this book is perfect, okay?
All right, well, see, that sounds very promising. That generates a lot of optimism. I assume what you mean is you went to like community college or something for some kind of writing related class, and I think that's a great idea. And as I said before, getting people to help you with your book is an excellent idea. It sounds like you're taking this a lot more seriously, and with all of those contributing factors, it's very possible that the very, very simple issue that got people so frustrated before simply will not be an issue this time. You know, despite being somewhat concerned that in this stream you still don't seem to entirely understand the issue with God is or a conscious universe or why people were saying the things they were saying, I'm still feeling very optimistic and hopeful about this book. I think there's a good chance that the issue of plagiarism will not exist, or at the very least not beyond little accidents here and there, which I'm entirely willing to look past if they're small and rare. Because what am I, some hard-ass university professor? No. I don't know if I would bet on it, but I wouldn't bet against it either. Things are looking up.
I put a lot of effort into this book, man.
Then I wish you the best with it. Really, I'm really wishing for the best here.
I put a lot of... Don't give me crap. All right? Do not give me crap. Even though I'm going to face crap. Okay, I am. I'm going to get it. Listen, I'm going to get it, especially with a controversial kind of saying that I've been saying. I'm putting an end to atheism.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
With this, I'm putting an end to atheism, baby. It is what it is, man.
Didn't you say exactly the same type of thing about the last two books? Atheism's still here. But hey, third time's the charm.
It is what it is.
It is indeed what it is. The law of identity holds.
Like I said, I put a lot of effort into this book. So you guys will be getting a lot of great, unique material out of this. You guys are going to hear arguments that you've never heard before.
If I haven't heard them before, there's probably a reason why people aren't using them. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If I can just focus on those and express my little atheisty disagreements, that'll be good.
Atheists are going to be faced with arguments that they've never heard before. They're going to be faced with things that are literally going to push them to the corner with no escape.
I'm glad for you that you feel so confident, I guess.
You guys got to understand. If I was that confident in these other books, best believe how much more confident I am in this book. Okay?
Okay, well, in that case, I'm glad for you that you feel so confident, I guess.
There has been, not as much as I would anticipate, but there has been a few people who have hit me up who were once atheists who have told me that these books has actually changed their perspective.
I don't believe you, but I don't have to. That's fine. If it's true, it's true. If it's not, it's not. Either way, you know.
Honestly, even if it was just a tiny bit of people, I think in totality, There's probably 11 people out of hundreds of people who have read the book, or thousands of people who have read the book.
I don't believe that either. In fact, I believe that even less. But hey, if you did in fact sell that many copies, I'm glad for you. You didn't, but if.
There was probably, like, I think in counting, maybe 10 or 11 people. I think like 9 of them were atheists, and like the other 2 or 3 were just agnostic.
You know, one thing I will say about this is the army buddy turned out to be real, so who the fuck knows? Still didn't sell thousands of copies though, no way.
And they hit me up and told me that a lot of the stuff that I said in this book, I don't know if they were weak atheists, strong atheists. I don't know what their position in atheism was. I don't know if they were just skeptics. I don't know. But, you know, they told me that some of the material in the book has really boosted their confidence in engaging and doing more research in the existence of God, the history of Jesus Christ, and stuff like that. So that makes me feel good.
Okay, nothing about that says that they've stopped being atheists. You said these are people who were once atheists. What indication do you have that they're not now? What was the follow-up? You never said anything about that. You don't even seem to have been in contact with these people as like a two-way exchange. This whole thing is very vague. It doesn't strike me as being very likely true. Maybe there's a core of truth in there somewhere, but already the embellishment is starting to fall away and sound less impressive, and that's without probing into it at all. This doesn't seem very real. Although, again, neither did the Army Buddy thing. Although some parts of that were more colorful than the reality. As the Army Buddy himself put it, there was some goober stuff in there. In any case, though, I'm just going to let that stand on its own and move on.
Like the Bible says, you know, the Lord will leave the 99 to go chase down that one, right? And, you know, if anybody had, you know, come to the Lord through these books, you know, all glory to the Lord God Almighty. That's something worth celebrating.
Okay, but do you have any actual reason to think that anyone did? Because before you made it seem that way, but now it doesn't seem nearly as much like that.
But as far as this book, we took it on a very personal level. I have completely decided to not only argue against atheism, but I decided to put myself in the atheistic position. Okay?
Oh, what does that mean? That sounds a little too much like you're playing the role of an atheist in the book, trying to argue from the atheist side, or like talk about the world from the atheist side, which would not be a useful approach.
There's going to be something new in here that you guys did not expect for me to do. I actually decided to put myself in atheistic socks and shoes. I put myself in their shoes.
Not sure how I feel about this. My first guess on hearing this is that you're going to pose as an atheist character and talk about how awful it is to be an atheist or something. Or maybe a bunch of straw man fake reasons. Maybe not. Keep talking. Maybe you'll clarify.
I take the time to really truly understand what is it that makes them confident that God doesn't exist, or rather that they don't believe that a God exists. What is the evidence that convinces them that God doesn't exist? What is it that they really rely on that proves to them that there is no God, there is no standard of morality? What is it? Why are atheists atheists? Why do atheists disbelieve in God?
Okay, so a couple little misconceptions there about atheism. Nothing I'm going to bother to correct right now. But what I'm getting from this is that you tried to understand what atheists think and what their arguments are. If that's what you mean by putting yourself in atheist shoes, I think that's a lot better than what I was envisioning. And I don't think we're going to end up with a very accurate representation. Just from what you were just saying, I don't know if you really grasp the point. But even if that's the case, that doesn't necessarily mean that you didn't try. So I'm going to keep an open mind here, and I'm going to see what's in the book. And if it looks like there is an honest effort to understand the atheist position, even if there are still misconceptions and misunderstandings, I'm going to take that as a positive.
Is it because the arguments told by Christian apologists are weak? Is it because they're not convinced by the historicity of Jesus Christ? I decided to put myself in their shoes and take away all bias.
No, you didn't. You might have tried, but that doesn't mean you did. That's not a thing you can just do. You still have your biases, regardless of how hard you try to suppress them.
Take away all Christian perspective. Take away everything. I decided to empty myself completely, humble myself completely, and put myself in their shoes. Because I want to truly understand why. I want to understand.
I want to understand what beep beep Okay, look, if you honestly want to understand, if you mean this, if you're really trying to put aside your biases, to set aside your Christian expectations, and just listen, regardless of whether you've really succeeded or not, or even whether you could, that's admirable. I do have to admit that I have a lot of skepticism still about whether you're going to honestly attempt that, but I find it a lot more plausible now than I would have a while ago. But like I said, I'm still skeptical.
I want to understand. If I'm missing something, please, atheist, help me. Help me discover that. If I'm missing something.
Good. Well, I'm sure there are many, many atheists who are more than willing to talk to you for as long as you want about this. And if that's what you've been doing, actually taking advantage of that resource and figuring out what atheists think and why from them themselves, I think that would be very impressive, regardless of what level of understanding you ended up reaching. Again, yeah, I'm skeptical, but I'm still really optimistic here.
So in this book, I decided to do that. And what you guys are going to see, what you guys are going to discover is going to blow your mind.
It's going to blow my little walnut so hard it'll even hit the inside of my skull.
Because it blew my mind. It blew my mind. Okay?
What atheistic shenanigans have you uncovered, Calvo? What walnut-popping philosophical detritus have you dug up? Maybe the atheists don't believe in objective morality. Careful, he's going to blow the lid off the whole thing. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm hyped. As we go through this video, I increasingly feel like a kid before Christmas.
There is a very popular person who is on YouTube who is in this book.
Mr. Beast?
Okay, so as I mentioned before, there's a very popular YouTuber, atheistic YouTuber that is in this book, whom I have had conversation with, who I've had question and answers with.
That sounds promising. Talking to actual real-life atheists. That's cool.
So you guys are going to see that in here. You're going to see our conversation. Okay? As well, there's a dedicated chapter for the people who have asked me questions personally, who have asked me biblical questions, scientific questions, historical questions. I put it on my last live. I said, if there's anybody who wants to be in my book, if there's anybody who wants to ask me questions, if there's anybody who have concerns about Christianity, about God's existence, ask away, because I'm going to put it in my book. So there is a dedicated chapter to some of you guys, the questions and concerns that you guys had. I put it in this book.
That sounds interesting. That's not a bad idea. It does sound a bit like a way to gather topics to respond to, more so than trying to understand your opponents, because you're taking their questions, not their answers. But that's fine. It's not like the whole book has to be dedicated just to understanding atheist claims. Answering their questions seems like a good use of space. It helps to elaborate your position, so people can understand your position better, which is also important, of course, and after all, it's your book.
A lot of great questions. My goodness. A lot of new questions. Questions that I don't think a lot of Christian apologists have answered.
And maybe. Sometimes people do come up with interesting stuff, so we'll see.
A lot of great questions. So I want to thank you guys for that. I'm super excited, man. I am absolutely excited to release this book. I am extremely confident in what type of feedback we're going to get in the book. I'm completely confident that this is going to put an end to atheism.
Okay, that's obviously not true. You know that, come on. There's marketing and then there's just silliness.
If you guys are wondering what that means when I say that, what do I mean when I say putting an end to atheism?
I mean, it sounds pretty obvious what it means, but I guess if it doesn't mean the obvious thing, then yeah, I'm wondering.
Does that mean that there's going to be people who no longer disbelieve in God?
Well, that's what it sounds like. That's the obvious thing I was referring to.
Well, you're just going to have to read the book to absolutely understand what I'm saying.
Oh. Toss out a provocative statement and then tell people to read the book to find out what it means. I mean, I would personally say that for that to work well, the statement should seem like it has any chance at all of being true. But that might just be me. Maybe I just don't understand marketing. I probably don't. People are incomprehensibly weird. And that's their fault, of course, not mine. They should all just be different.
Okay? You're going to have to read the book to understand what that means. You got to understand the context. Right? Like we like to say, understand the context.
I don't know that there's any context that could make that statement strictly true, but I guess it's more you have to read it to find out what you're trying to say with it. Okay, fair enough.
But this book right here is probably my best project. My best project yet.
Not a high bar, and considering that you have years of character development, you've put time into learning about writing and so on, and you have help, I think that's almost certainly true regardless of anything else.
And it's going to take a lot of work for me to write something new, because I feel that I put so much of my effort in this book that there's going to be something of significance that I'm going to have to come up with in order to write a new book.
All right, so watch my videos on this book because this might be the final one. You don't want to risk missing the grand finale, do you? That's marketing, right? Does that work?
I think if you have this book, you're probably not going to need another apologetic book, honestly.
Okay, you go from statements that are probably true and quite easy to defend to statements that are obviously not true. You're not covering all the material ever written in every apologetics book ever. This is, again, the type of thing that you were saying about your first two books. Just dial it back a little bit.
I'm that confident.
Okay, that level of confidence does not seem wise. That's getting me concerned again.
There's a uniqueness to my type of investigation. There's a uniqueness to my type of questioning. There's a uniqueness to my type of answering. There's something special about it.
I wish I could disagree, but I gotta give you that one. There is a great deal of uniqueness to it. There is no replacing an Almando Calvo book. There is something extremely special in your work. A certain je sais quoi. And no, I did not misspeak just then.
And I'm not just trying to toot my own horn.
Maybe you're not just trying to do that, but I hear that horn tooting a hell of a lot.
But when I go about discussing things with atheists or questioning atheists, I don't just go a formatted way like most people like to resort to.
Do they? What format? Like 10 questions, for example? That kind of format?
I like to nitpick certain details of a question, nitpick certain details and concepts of certain arguments that atheists propose.
Oh, dang, dude, you're basically me in a Tim Pool costume.
And most importantly, I like to put myself in their shoes.
That's a recipe for athlete's foot, bro. Don't put your feet in my shoes. Doesn't matter how much you like that kind of thing.
I like to play the atheism.
What does that mean? That again sounds a lot like posing as an atheist in the book, making a little straw man character with your own thoughts. Now I would be surprised if that also doesn't happen in the book, in addition to all the input from atheists. I mean, what else does play the atheist mean?
So, I do that a lot in this book.
Yeah, so my bet's on that happening a lot in this book. Can't wait to find out.
I wanted to take a different approach to arguing against atheism. I feel like there's more that we can discover if we take that approach.
The approach of the Christian playing the atheist. Whether that's true is really gonna depend on what exactly that means. But if the meanings that come to my mind are the correct ones, then no. That's about the opposite of true.
Instead of just going after atheism and refuting them and disproving them, how about let's take a step back, let's put ourselves in their shoes. Let's put the same jacket they wear. Let's put the same hat they wear. Let's
put the same 3D glasses they wear.
Let's change into their whole apparel. Let's put on the clothes of an atheist. Let us wear the cloth of an atheist.
That's a recipe for athlete's body. Do not put on my clothes.
Let us clothe ourselves completely with this perspective of life and try to understand, try to investigate from their perspective. It'll better help us understand.
Right, so you're going to play the atheist. You're going to try to embody the atheist and see things from our perspective on life. Which, yeah, sounds like a straw man atheist character talking about how miserable it is to be an atheist. I mean, come on, that's definitely what it is, right? If that's not true, I'm going to be shocked, but relieved.
And trust me when I say, I removed all sense of bias. I removed all sense of Christianity. I emptied myself so I can truly come from the perspective of an atheist.
So you can come from the perspective of an atheist. Maybe it's just my bias from past experience, but I really can't see that meaning anything else other than what I've said I think it means. I can't even think of what else it would mean.
And you guys are going to see that throughout this book. That I was not lying.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. And regardless of my guess, I am very, very curious to see where this goes.
So there you have it, guys. I just wanted to come on here to let you guys know that, yes, my new book has been complete.
That's the second time you've said that now, implying that it has been complete but now is not. Which actually, considering what you've said about adding more stuff, might be true. You might have considered it complete and now you don't. But I don't think the phrasing's intentional. I think you just mean it has been completed.
And we're planning on publishing the book sometime in November.
Oh man, 3 months? That's like a million years from now.
Okay, there's a lot of stuff I still have to do. There's probably the book is 90% done.
Yeah, see what I mean? It has been complete and now it's not.
All right, the other 10% of things that I have to do is just small little tweaks. I still got to read the final product and make some modifications, make some edits, do a little bit of tweaking that I have to do so that when the book does release, there is no issues.
You know what? I joked about 3 months being a long time, but this is good. This is great. This is fantastic. Take the 3 months. Do what you gotta do, because I like what I'm hearing here. This is really good. Okay, the next clip is long, sorry. I just want him to be able to say what he's saying here.
And by the way, what I do want to mention, I'm going to make a separate video on this, but for the people watching and for the people who are going to watch this video, I will keep this video uploaded. But I do want to mention that I will be personally ordering 20 copies, okay? When it first comes out, I'll be ordering 20 first edition copies. And these first edition copies are going to be not only first edition, but they're going to be a special edition. It's going to be a limited special edition copy of the book. And it's going to come with, I think, 4 to 5 items. It's going to come in a special box. And of course, it's going to come with my personal signature. Not a signature in the sense of I'm a celebrity, you guys want my stamp of approval type deal. No, it's more of just...
Now, author's signature, super normal thing, very cool. Special edition, signed, love it. Good idea. I don't know what your criteria are yet for people getting it, but sounds very cool.
This is a book coming from me personally to you. This is a gift personally from me to you. And with the signature, that will be like the stamp of this book was directly from me and I'm giving it directly to you. So,
all right. I mean, of course, the only thing is, are people comfortable giving their addresses out and stuff? But maybe they are. People do that on Patreon sometimes, for example, for physical perks that people do and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I like the idea.
I will be doing a giveaway of one of those special edition, first edition copies. All right. It's going to come, like I said, with like 4 or 5 items in the box. It's going to come with the book, first edition book, autographed book. And then the other 19, those are going to be sold, all right, separately from the publication website that the book will be sold on.
Man, I would buy one of those, although I don't want to give out my address, obviously, and I let my P.O. box expire years ago because nobody ever used it. That stuff costs quite a bit of money.
So I will be doing a giveaway for one first edition, special edition book. So I will be uploading a video on that really soon. And like I said, the other 19 will be a separate special edition that you guys can purchase directly from me. And then the rest of the books, if you guys want to just purchase the book for the regular price, for whatever, it will be on the publication website. I will be working again with lulu.com. So you guys will find the book on lulu.com. That's where you guys can purchase the book.
I didn't really need to include all of that here, but I feel like enough people would actually be curious about this that it's worth leaving in. The box idea is ambitious. I hope you can actually manage to sell them all and make it worth it. But yeah, if it works, cool.
And good news for a lot of people who wanted to read the other 2 books, I will be re-releasing God Is and A Conscious Universe.
All right, I don't know if I feel quite as positively about that for obvious reasons, but that's your business, whatever.
If you guys want to pick up those 2 books, I will be releasing it on the day that I release my official book. I think I'm going to do it a day prior or the day after.
All right, well, he talks for a couple more minutes, does his outros and whatnot, but I don't really have anything I want to say about it, so I might as well just call this the end. Very excited for this, so we'll see how this goes in November, and until then, we'll do other stuff. Thanks for watching, subscribe. I'm supported by my viewers. I don't even take sponsorships, so if you like the channel, please do consider supporting. Huge thanks to all of my supporters, and I'll see you next time.